All right, here we go. What we have here today is an unboxing and a review of the Figma Hulk Avengers figure that came out a couple of years ago. I want to say about 7 years ago, uh, when I started seeing most of the reviews online. They're all dated back to about 7 years ago. But the reason I want to do this actual unboxing is for a specific reason. As you can see, I already opened the box up. It was just delivered, Amazon Prime. And after I opened it this far, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this on camera this time. Notice I said this time because I ordered this figure before, about 3 weeks ago, from Amazon again, and opened it up to find that the neck was broken on the figure, which was no bueno. So at the time, I thought to myself, man, this figure came all the way from Japan, and usually it takes 311 business days to get something shipped from Japan, and I wasn't feeling that, and I didn't want to wait all that time, so I tried to super glue it, and that didn't work. And so finally, I was like, for the money I paid, which was a handsome penny, I'm gonna send the damn thing back. I don't want a refund, I just want a new one. And then there were some issues with that, and on and on and on. But they finally sent me my figure. It took about 3 weeks or so to get the replacement. And here it is. And so I'm going to open this one live on camera, and hope that I don't take another L. So I'm going to pause the camera and set it up so I can use both my hands. And I'll be back in just a second. All right. Here we go. Got my X-Acto knife here. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't need that to rip this open. Or do I? Yeah, I do. It's taped pretty good. Stick this in there. Cut a couple slits in there. Let's get that enough. Close this there, wiring it up. And let's go ahead and peel it off all the way around. Okay. All right, there's our figure. Okay, so here we go, and so far so good. And the more I'm looking at this thing, the more I realize that the effing figure was broken when they delivered it to me. Because on the other one that I had, on the inside, I don't know if you can see that, but on the inside there was a small piece of bubble wrap wrapped around the back of the head, as if it was, I thought it was there for just an extra layer of protection. That protection is not here now. They knew that figure was broken when they shipped it to me. But hey, at least they rectified the situation and I got a new one. But let that be a lesson to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're ordering items off of the internet, if you will, this is what happened. You run the risk of taking L's, as I call it. This particular figure, the Figma Hulk action figure by the company Good Smile Max Factory, was not released in the U.S. It was released in Japan only, and so you can only get this figure by ordering it, whether it be on eBay or Amazon, as was the case with me. Other outlets like Big Bad Toy Store, you can get it there as well. I'm not sure about Macari or not, but in any event, the only way you can get it is pretty much to order it online. But the reason I went with Amazon, which is where I order my product, rather than on eBay, is because I tried to eliminate taking an L. And so it backfired on me, but it got straightened. One of the main reasons I didn't order directly off of eBay from a previous owner or seller is because when they would show the pictures of the actual figure, it would be pictures of this figure, and then there'd be one or two pictures of the SH Figure Arts Hulk, and I'm going to put a picture side by side so that you can see the difference. They would always include that more oftentimes than not. And so, having taken an L before, I ordered a Godzilla figure. When the first Godzilla movie came out, the remake that spawned all the sequels with the new what's the universe called? Monster. God Almighty, I'm gonna have to edit this and then re-put it together. But when the new Godzilla came out, the one with before the Godzilla vs. Kong sequel, I ordered a Godzilla from somewhere in Japan or China or whatever it was, and the figure I got was didn't look anything close to the figure I ordered. So after that, I tried to be super careful. I decided to go, instead of going straight off of eBay, I decided to go with Amazon. Amazon, a reputable brand and company, and stand behind the products they sell. But we were able to get and I still took an L. But to their credit, we were able to get everything resolved, and here we are. All right, so let's take a look at the unboxing. Again, this is the Max Factory Good Smile Figma action figure. Let's look at the side of the box. There's some nifty artwork there. On the back are these particular pictures that you always see on eBay when they show you pictures of the product. The reason I ordered this Hulk over any of the others that are out there, even the ones you can get in America, is because it looks better. I am a big visual guy, and I bought this Hulk figure simply because it looks better than all of the rest. And I'll talk more about that when I take it out the box. On the top, you've got the Avengers logo. You've got the company logo. You've got Figma, Max Factory, Good Smile. You've got another picture of the Hulk. Then on the bottom, that's repeated. You've got the same thing. All right, let's get this thing open. Almost cut my finger there. That's why you're always supposed to cut away from the body. Let's open this thing up. Let's slide this thing out. And here we go. As you can see here, that's the figure in its entirety, without the additional head support to suggest to me that it's in one piece and not in two, like they shipped to me to begin with. These are the extras that come along with this figure. It's two sets of hands. As you can see, he has the open hands, or you can utilize the closed fists. And those are all the extras that come along with it by way of effects. Then when we open up the box here and take it out, there's a thin sheet of protective plastic. There's my figure, head intact. I can turn its head without it falling off of my hand like it did the last time. And we will get into the articulation momentarily. So let me just stand it up so I can get a look at what else is in the box. There we go. We'll just leave it like that in the Frankenstein pose. All right. So again, there are the hands there. As you can see, the fist, if you will. There's a guide that shows you all of the components, including the figure itself. You got the two fists. You got a base here. You have the Figma stand, the part of the stand that goes into the back portal, which is this hole here that allows the figure to stand up. The figure does have a pretty good amount of weight to it. And then there's this figure, which I will show you what it is used for in just a moment. Again, you got a plastic bag there to store your goodies, you know, your hands and the whole stand and the whole nine. So that's everything that is equipped, that comes equipped in the package. And now, before I get into the articulation or in any of that, go ahead and fast forward to that portion of the review if that's all you're here for. But right now, I'm going to start with the history of the character, as I like to do. All right. The Hulk first appeared in his own title back in 1962, called it The Incredible Hulk, where he appeared in gray skin rather than green. He didn't appear until the green skin that we all have become familiar with him today, until issue number 2. The Hulk also was a founding member of the Avengers and appeared in the Avengers episode, or issue number 1, where he was a founding member alongside Thor, Odin's son, Ant-Man, and Iron Man, who appeared in his Mach 1 rendition that he created in a cave, as shown in the MCU. The Hulk also appeared in the Fantastic Four, issue number 12. That was his first crossover with the world's greatest superhero team. And the rest, as they say, is history. Now, the Incredible Hulk also was the first MCU character, at least that I can remember, that really made his name to the masses on television in a 1977 television series. There were iterations of Marvel characters that tried to conquer the small screen, if you will, the silver screen before him. Captain America, I recall, had a black and white serial back in the 60s. There were a few failed Captain America and Spider-Man small screen presentations, movies of the week, that sort of a thing, that didn't last too long. They were poorly produced. The one that put him on the map was the Incredible Hulk TV series starring Bill Bixby as David Banner. They changed the name from Bruce to David. And as the Incredible Hulk himself, professional bodybuilder, and I believe one time Mr. Olympia, Lou Ferrigno, wearing the worst wig I've ever seen on a head of human hair. The series was slow, methodical, quite boring as a child watching it on television, but the 3 to 5 minutes that he actually turned into the Hulk were the greatest 3 to 5 minutes ever in the history of television. That having been said, on to the review of the figure itself. I know I say this a lot on most of the figures that I've reviewed, or on some of the figures that I've reviewed, the T-Rex figure, for example, but this is a beautiful sculpt. The muscular on this figure is very beautifully done. The wash for the shadows on the back and the neck also is very impressive. Again, this is a figure that was produced in Japan, so their articulation is quite different than ours here in the United States, by the way of the articulation and the mobility, which we'll get into in just a moment. But again, one of the reasons that I chose this figure is just for the look of it. There were some other figures, the Hulk 80th edition, I believe it was the 80th or the 60th, that are all bigger and taller, and then there are the standard Marvel Legends figures of the past few years, but none of those figures had the appeal of this one. This Hulk is modeled after the first Ruffalo version in the Avengers film that came out in, 2008, I believe it was. And it has the best look that I've seen to match that character. Another thing that I like about it is in the sculpt itself, it doesn't have the different sections where you can see the visible holes. I mean, it has a few. You know, when you're looking at it, you can kind of see the, you know, dark off in there and the separation. And then when you do some of the articulation, when he bends over from the back, or the leg, for example, starts coming apart, or in this case, some of the pieces fall off. But that having been said, all things being equaled, physically, it looks like one piece, and you don't have all those different sections that, to me, kind of takes away from the appearance of the character, especially when, you know, you're going to start doing stop motion animation. To me, with all those different sections and parts on some of the other Hulk figures, it's akin to if this was Godzilla, they would be Mega Godzilla, so to speak, some sort of animatronic antagonist that they would have to deal with. And I'm all about the visual, and this just looks good to me. All right, so let's get into some of the close-ups here, or some of the articulation again. You've got some head pivot, goes down, you know, fair amount. Looks up about that much, which pretty much just looks straight. I don't want to do too much. I don't want the head to come off. Looks from right to left. Has shoulder rotation, 360-degree range. No bicep swivel, but does have some forearm swivel. The joint between the elbow and the, or just at the elbow and the bicep, goes up about, what's that, 45 degrees, then extends down. You've got wrist swivel that in a 360-degree motion. Arms go out in the T-pose, and as you can see, the piece came off again, and with the hand, and you can also see the style of connection that they have. They've got the peg coming out of the arm, and then they've got the hole inside of the hand that you stick on like so. He's got a pretty good wingspan there, and this is one of the things that I kept seeing on some of the other reviews that I saw, how everyone kept talking about how the pieces keep coming out when you move them. But I've got a remedy for that. Once I actually start my actual stop motions, I'm just going to super glue them together. It's as simple as that. Gorilla Glue is your action figure's best friend. Shameful plug. Now, of course, I won't do it at the wrist, because I want to be able to switch from the open hands to the closed fists. But I will do it on like the legs and the thighs, because there's no reason for those to come off. And so I'll be perfectly fine doing that. All right, that having been said, we've got thigh swivel. And let's go ahead and take that thigh off. As you can see, the kind of joint that it has on that. See that that cylindrical, if that's a word, the cylinder-shaped tubing there. And then you've got a hollow thigh altogether. And that joint snaps into place like that. And then you've got the hole right there that the knee fits in. But as you can see, you've got some knee swivel on it, almost like a ball joint. And again, here we go. All right, so you put that in like that. The knee bends like that. You do have ankle swivel. You even have toe articulation. I don't know why, but you do. And a little ankle rock. I don't know if you can see that, but very slight. Good toe sculpt. Got a couple of veins in the foot there as well. You can see the balls of the ankles, which is, you know, neither here nor there. If you want to nitpick about anything, you've got waist swivel, and then you even have forward crunch about that much. Ab crunch, if you will. And not even that, I just noticed that if I can keep this from coming out, that it's actually the thighs themselves that are doing some of the moving as well, and not just the actual ab crunch itself, although you do have some ab crunch movement. That's about as much crunch as you get without continuing to rotate the thighs like I just did. But if you want to, oh no, we've got a little bit more. I did see on some reviews where if you bend it too much, then you'll start seeing separation here, because this top piece is just one piece. And as you can also see there, so I just did it. I just extended it. So slip that back in. You do have the joint there, or the port there, for the stand to help model the figure. All right, one of the other cool things about the figure is the head and the face itself. Let me go ahead and pop the head off. All right, so remember the last figure I got, I told you guys that the neck was broken. The peg, this part, the stem, was stuck off inside of the neck there, almost flush with it. Here goes that. You son of a gun. So yeah, that's definitely going to get super glued. I'm going to put some glue on this end, stick it inside there so that it doesn't keep popping out. Because again, I have no need for it to come out. Same thing we're going to do here. Put some super glue around here, put it in there, and voila. That should keep the legs from falling apart every time you touch it. Problem solved. Presto, bingo, bang. Kind of difficult to get them to stand sometimes because, again, those feet are on balls, and so they don't, they aren't flat. But after you play with it a while, you can get used to it and kind of get it to stand up and do its thing. Just like with any of the other figures. That hand's about to come off there. All right, play right. Come on. Come on, use. All right, just have to put some more pressure, make it lean forward based on the hips. But again, all right, so a thing about the head. I like to do pros and cons. Again, I love the way that this sculpt looks. So I get a little light over here. I love the way that this sculpt looks. It does look like the Ruffalo Hulk from 2000. But as you can see, there's this separation in the head, and there's a reason for that. Is because if you open it up, then there are actually two stems connected to the eyes, if you guys can see that you can actually move, and so you can move his eyes and have them look in different directions. If you guys can see that, let me get a little light there. But yeah, you can actually move the direction of those eyes. Bump the camera there. I don't anticipate doing that too much. He's got good teeth sculpt there. I'm happy with it anyway. I saw a couple of people complain about, the paint job of the teeth and all of that, but looks good to me. And so let's put that back together. So, but if anything, and again, I'm nitpicking, just that crack between the head is kind of distracting, but not a whole lot. So there we go. There's the figure in its articulation. Let me show you what the fists look like on the figure. Fists are neatly wrapped in plastic. And I just can't get over the fact that they sent me a bombed figure. The neck was broken when they sent it, and they knew the neck was broken. That's why they wrapped it in the plastic. I putting this on the right hand? Yes. That's why they wrapped it in the plastic. Wait a minute, hang on. This is the left fist. That's right. All right. And Joe doesn't want to. All right. Just had to give it a little American muscle. So yeah, he's got one fist or two fists and two open hands. So if you've seen one closed fist, you've seen them all. There is, and I did see another reviewer mention this as well, that the fist has a hole in it from top to bottom, as if it was designed to hold some sort of item, like a pole or something like that, like the Mole Man's staff or something. But I don't see the purpose of that, so I think it was just what we call half-assing when they did the design. But it's neither here nor there. Again, all in all, this is an awesome looking figure. It's the best looking Hulk figure that I've seen out there. Isn't the biggest. Let me do the measurement for you. Then we'll do some size comparisons. Alright, so this Hulk figure stands at about, there we go, 7 3/4 of an inch, give or take. So it isn't the biggest Hulk figure on the market. I know Diamond Select has a Hulk version. It's like 10 inches. But I didn't want to go that big because I didn't want it to be gigantic when compared to my other action figures. Then we'll do some size comparisons. Here standing next to my custom painted Annihilus Build-A-Figure. Here standing next to my Terrax Build-A-Figure with the custom painted axe. He's a hair taller than Terrax. Terrax stands at about 7.5. There he is, standing next to the Mezco Ben Grimm. And here he is standing next to Blastar. Blastar is currently I think he's the biggest figure that I have, and he stands at about 8.5 inches. And finally, here he is standing along with his cousin, Jen Walters, aka the She-Hulk. All right, and there we have it. That's the review of the Figma Hulk by the Good Smile Company. Please like and subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more.